Welcome everyone to Jamaica News Update, the channel that keep you up to date with everything that's going on back home. First thing you have is a famous Jamaican TikToker. His girlfriend is saying he goes both ways because she had used her toes and her makeup brush on him. I'm gonna play a few clippings and you guys decide who is telling the truth, cause he denied the allegations. Be sure to like, follow and subscribe to keep up to date.
I actually have a video of you skinning out your body wall and me putting a makeup brush in there and even my fucking toe. And listen, you must know by this point that I am not a girl that is embarrassed about the things she does. I'm brawling, and that's why everybody should fucking know I didn't put out your shit, nigga. You have officially done the one thing in life that you won't be able to recover from in the eyes of God. Jaden, I did not put out your picture in your video. I am not the woman in the video. You know that. You have admitted that on live yourself. I have no reason to be putting out nudes from you or anybody else. That is not in my character, and it has never been. And you know that. Discuss things, we figure out he likes the body business. I'm sorry to tell him, I said, listen, bro, if you're gonna be dibbling and dabbling in that life, you need to wash your body differently. Like, you gotta make sure that when you wash it, you don't just let the water run through it, bro. You gotta go in there.
Jesus.
And I remember the first time he did it, he came out that shower and he said, I put my finger in there. I said, yeah, you feel clean, huh?
Hey, okay, stop.
I have a douche you could use and you can just spray it in there. So when things come out, they're not shit up. You understand what I'm saying? We're not gonna lie on my son, on my mama. On whatever
Okay, Ash, no more.
Turn me into a goat. The best Obiama can turn me into a goat if I lie me, I tell.
No more.
Oh, my mama.
No more.
Bro, him and I discussed it.
I don't know the truth. She did want to put the makeup brush in there. I did work. No, I never work with it. You see, because I say, you know, the damn thing there. I'm not so freaky. But Ashley, you say me suck your pum pum. You say me don't suck your pum pum, and then you say me suck your pum pum. Make up a mind, man. More know which one me do. Make up a mind. Me tell the people what me do now. Me know what me do. Me suck it or not. Me know, man. Cause me look on your front. That has no front. We can't suck it, man. Be a anyways, make it on. Come in. I want to say me I bring down no woman, you know, and them I bring me down, you know. This is how them expose me. Jesus Christ. Let's change that topic here, man. Cause me name if you but anyways, chat. So what I did. Who expose her? I know me expose her, bro. I swear for my life, bro. I know me expose her. If you want to expose Ashley, me expose Ashley for a long time. If more expose Ashley, me not stay them type of way, bro. You see it. Oh, if expose girl, I mean know some go out one other girl for fucking her next You see me I say? More do them thing there, bro. You see me I say? More do them. I wouldn't dare. You see it. But Ashley, I get to look how hype now. I want you use it and make look money so you can take care of you and your family.
More drama unfold with the JCF, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, as the citizens of St. Thomas are saying they're acting as if they're above the law. I'm gonna play a few clippings and you guys be the judge.
I see nothing. Don't tell me if you like to do. Frankie, come out our house. Sir, make him come out. What do you mean for what? Frankie, come out our house. Jesus. Franklin! Jesus Christ! Then we'll walk you. Not you back in nobody not chance we can look for the boy. Never take it. See that never got say Franklin gun now in on. They put it on him. See that.
My name is Chana Johnson. Franklin Hyman is my son. Right now, I not even know what to say. What to say, no hard working boy. Then come here last week Tuesday, search him, go up on yard, threatening girlfriends if he go home. Right now go pretty. Then come back Thursday, then came down, so them I go question him. Then have him about 5 days. Me I forget liar. We take him out cause when they say I be question him nothing. Me down on my yard this morning. Me see when the jeep then come from Ridge, go up the road. By the time me run go up there, then run me back. By the time me down here, so me hear the shot them, then kill me pitney. When nothing at all, he no do nothing. He might wake up this morning for go work. Justice for coming at them. Right now, me not even know what to say. What if say nothing can't go, so justice for coming at them something, yeah. The boy now do nothing, then threatening say them I go kill him, and then come this morning, say and kill him. Boy, me I tell you, me yai water nah go so, that's all me know. Me yai water nah go so. Me can't even believe saying dead, you know. Me have to ask good if he really dead, you know.
Jamaica health industry on the brink of collapsing, as USA newly elected President Donald Trump informed the Jamaican government that he has to cut ties with Cuba. The major issue is Jamaica relies on Cuban doctors so much to help their already diminishing health system. What will the Jamaican government do?
I am canceling the last administration's completely one-sided deal with Cuba. Our new policy begins with strictly enforcing U.S. law.
For decades, Cuba has quietly come to the rescue of Jamaica's healthcare system. In a country where hospitals are overwhelmed and the shortage of doctors is a constant challenge, Cuban doctors have been filling the gap and providing critical medical care to Jamaicans. But the truth is, without the Cuban doctors, the Jamaican healthcare system would struggle to survive. Jamaica has a long history of challenges in the medical sector. The public healthcare system is underfunded, overcrowded, and constantly grappling with shortages of medical professionals. The country's medical schools are not producing enough graduates to meet the demand, and many doctors choose to leave the island for better opportunities abroad. This has left public hospitals in a perpetual state of crisis. For years, Cuban doctors have been a lifeline for Jamaica's medical system. Over 100 Cuban doctors have been working in Jamaica's hospitals, providing much-needed specialized care in fields like surgery, pediatrics, and cardiology, and rural areas, where their services are most needed, and the Jamaican public has come to rely on their expertise, particularly in remote communities where access to healthcare is limited. The US government is stepping in with a threat that could shatter the foundation of Jamaica's healthcare system. If Jamaica continues to accept Cuban doctors, the US has made it clear that it will impose severe economic sanctions and other diplomatic consequences. The US is accusing Cuba of using its doctors to further its political agenda, and the US demands that Jamaica sever ties with Cuban medical professionals or face the consequences. The US argument is rooted in its decades-long hostility towards Cuba, stemming from the Cuban Revolution and the rise of Fidel Castro's communist regime.
Gone throughout the world since the end of World War II, this one in Cuba holds no special honors or distinctions. The revolutions have gone until this one. The Cuban Revolution is very special. It's very special for several reasons, and all of them are pretty much a mystery to this fellow, John, who is particularly wrapped up in that Cuban Revolution. He doesn't really understand what happened in Cuba back in January of 1959. Despite the fact that no other person on this planet has a greater number or a variety of ways to read about, hear about, see about, and know about things, the tons of newsprint that he's read through and the untold hours of airtime that he's listened through about turmoil and unrest and revolutions everywhere around him for years.
Will not lift sanctions on the Cuban regime until all political prisoners are freed, freedoms of assembly and expression.
As part of its policy to isolate Cuba economically and politically, the US has made it difficult for many countries to do business with Cuba, including in the healthcare sector. The US sees the deployment of Cuban doctors as a way for the Cuban government to exert influence over other nations, and they're determined to stop it, even if that means putting Jamaican lives at risk. So what does this mean for Jamaica? If the Jamaican government caves to US pressure and removes Cuban doctors from its hospitals, the country faces a devastating loss of medical professionals at a time when it can least afford it. For many Jamaicans, this will mean longer wait times for medical procedures, fewer specialists available, and potentially higher death rates from treatable conditions. The truth is, Jamaica is caught in the middle of a geopolitical battle between two superpowers, the US and Cuba. While Jamaica is a close ally of the US and depends heavily on US trade and support, it also has historical ties with Cuba, especially in the area of healthcare. It's a delicate balance. Jamaica's government must weigh the economic and diplomatic benefits of maintaining a good relationship with the US against the real and pressing need for Cuban doctors. The US has long been a source of funding for Jamaican programs, including healthcare, but that funding comes with strings attached. The latest threat is just another example of the US using its economic power to influence Jamaica's foreign policy and healthcare decisions. But here's the question. What is the value of a relationship with a country that is willing to let Jamaicans suffer in order to make a political point? If the US pushes Jamaica to end its cooperation with Cuba, how will the Jamaican government respond to the pressure, knowing that thousands of lives could be at risk? Jamaica's healthcare system on the brink. What will happen if Cuba's doctors are sent home? If Cuban doctors are sent home, the consequences for Jamaica's healthcare system could be dire. Public hospitals, which are already struggling with overcrowding and understaffing, would face an even greater crisis. Patients would be left with fewer doctors, fewer specialists, and longer wait times for life-saving treatments. The country's medical infrastructure is fragile, and many Jamaicans rely on Cuban doctors to receive critical care. These doctors are not just filling the gaps, they're saving lives every day. Without them, the Jamaican healthcare system could collapse under the pressure. In addition to the medical crisis, there are economic implications. Jamaican hospitals would have to spend millions of dollars to recruit foreign doctors to replace the Cuban ones. This would put even more strain on an already overburdened healthcare budget, diverting resources away from other vital services like education and social programs. The human cost of this political battle cannot be ignored. Thousands of Jamaicans, particularly those in rural and underserved areas, rely on Cuban doctors for their healthcare needs. Many of these patients have no other option for specialized care, and without Cuban doctors, their chances of survival are significantly diminished. Jamaicans know the value of these Cuban medical professionals. They've witnessed firsthand the impact that these doctors have had on their health and well-being. Losing them would not only be a blow to the healthcare system, but also a betrayal of the trust that Jamaicans have placed in their government. The future of Jamaica's healthcare. A choice between political pressure and public health. The Jamaican government now faces an incredibly difficult decision. Does it bow to US pressure and risk the health and well-being of its citizens? Or does it stand firm in defense of its right to choose its healthcare partners? The answer is not simple. Jamaica's relationship with the US is crucial for economic stability, but so too is the need to protect the health of the Jamaican people. But now, the government's decision will shape the future of the country's healthcare system. As Jamaicans, we must ask ourselves, are we willing to risk our health for political